The general theme here is money. The way it manifests itself changes from family to family. Sometimes it is people, it's heirs saying, hey, you're not giving me access to this trust. Or in some cases, it is family members who are saying, I should be the one running the company, which kind of starts the feud itself. Koch family is worth $100 billion. They are the family behind the conglomerate Koch Industries, whose products include pipelines, chemicals, and Dixie cups. You know, when people think about Koch brothers, they think about, David Koch and Charles Koch, but they're actually four Koch brothers. And back in the 80s, they had a feud amongst themselves where two of the brothers wanted to actually be in control of the family conglomerate. And then they failed. And then there was this back and forth where two of the brothers, Charles and David, bought out their other brothers for $700 million. And then those two brothers, Bill and Frederick, actually came back and they said, you know what, we're shortchanged here. We actually want more money. And then they were in litigation for a while. So things like that happen. Another one that's kind of crazy is a feud within the Schoen family, and they're the family behind U-Haul. So husband and wife duo, Ellis Schoen and Anna Mary Schoen, they co-founded U-Haul, and then Ellis and his eldest son, Samuel, they expanded the company and they went to rentals of things, not just trucks, but things like videotapes and dance floors and jet skis. And when the expansion happened, Ellis's other children, Joe and Mark, they thought that their father was actually wrecking the company. So they staged a coup in 1986, and Joe was the one who staged the coup, and Joe took control of the company and forced his dad out. He forced his dad into retirement and alienated most of his 12 siblings and half siblings. And there were lawsuits for 25 years. And it got pretty nasty at one point because LS even accused his estranged sons of taking part in the murder of Samuel's wife in 1990. And they were not guilty. A paroled rapist confessed. And LS told Forbes in 1994 that Joe was mentally ill. And the sad part is that LS himself died by suicide in 1999. Litigations continued for almost 25 years, and the last of litigation concluded in 2012. There are multiple examples where we also saw that people sue their families. Sometimes they sue their fathers, they sue their uncles. One of the examples is the Pritzker family. So the Pritzker family is a family behind Hyatt Hotels. And Liesl was only 18 years old when she filed a $6 billion lawsuit against her father and 11 other older cousins. She alleged that they looted her and her brother Matthew's trust funds. And her father, Robert Pritzker, who was divorced from Liesl's mother, Irene, had begun to tinker with his children's trusts and donated their share in the family holding company to the family foundation. So years later, the cousins are planning to divvy up the fortune, and they leave Liesl and her brother out. And in 2003, Liesl says, this is not about the money. She says, this is not about the bling bling. It's just, figuring out what's the truth. And the battle was over. It took some time, and she walked away with $500 million. Another case, Goldman family. Sol Goldman was the richest landlord in New York City when he died in 1987. His properties at one point included the historic Chrysler building. I did not know that you could actually own the Chrysler building, but turns out you can. And shortly after his death, Sol's four kids and his estranged wife, Lillian, began battling over the inheritance. When you go to court, it's because you couldn't resolve a dispute amongst yourselves. So I think that's why we don't really see a lot of new people fighting right now, because if they're fighting, maybe they haven't taken it to court. So that's why a lot of established families appear with their disputes, because these litigations are stories that they've taken over decades. I think going forward, we'll definitely be seeing more of these stories for sure. And also, I'm sure there's a lot of feuding that happens that doesn't go to court that, we would not really have visibility into.